The biodome's atmospheric regulators hummed their monotonous rhythm as Emma Rodriguez adjusted the gravitational calibration unit strapped to her chest. The device displayed forged twice Earth's standard gravity and 40% higher than what the Vraxian expedition team considered survivable for human physiology. James Chun watched from the observation deck, his expression caught between concern and scientific fascination. Emma, the telemetry readings are spiking. Your cardiovascular system is operating at 140% normal capacity. I'm aware, Emma replied, her voice steady despite the crushing weight pressing down on every cell in her body. She secured the third Vraxian cub, each weighing approximately 40 kilograms in standard gravity, but feeling like compressed neutron star material under current conditions against her reinforced exoharness. The cubs whimpered, their bioluminescent spots flickering, in distress patterns that Emma's neural interface translated as fear and disorientation. Commander Throlix of the Vraxian exploratory corps had made his assessment. Clear 3 rotations ago, humans were fragile, their bone density insufficient, their muscle composition inadequate for anything beyond light reconnaissance duties. The Vraxians, evolved on a planet with 1.8 surface gravity, possessed skeletal structures reinforced with silicon carbide compounds and musculature capable of generating forces that would shatter human bones. Weak species, Throlix had pronounced, his mandibles clicking dismissively. Useful for technical analysis, perhaps? But physical endurance? Laughable. That was before the ridge collapse. The quantum seismograph hadn't detected the tectonic instability. Failure Emma had flagged in her reports, but which had been dismissed as human overcaution. When the western ridge of the Chromium Highlands gave way, it had taken the Vraxian nursery habitat with it, tumbling 300 meters down into the canyon where gravitational anomalies pushed local conditions to 2.4G. The adult Vraxians, for all their evolutionary advantages, found themselves physiologically locked. Their bodies, optimized for 1.8G, couldn't function in the crushing weight of the canyon floor. The cubs, younger and more adaptable, had survived the fall but couldn't climb out. No organism can operate effectively at 2.4G for extended periods, Throlix had stated, his certainty absolute. We must wait for the gravitational fluctuation to stabilize. 3 days, perhaps 4? Emma had studied the atmospheric data. The cubs have 40 hours of oxygen in those conditions. Maybe less. Then they will join the cosmic cycle, Throlix had replied. With what Emma's interface translated as resigned acceptance. James had found her in the equipment bay 20 minutes later, calibrating the gravity compensators. You can't be serious, dead serious. Emma had locked the final harness buckle. Humans evolved as endurance predators, James. We didn't outrun our prey, we outlasted them. Persistence hunting across savannas, chasing animals until they collapsed from exhaustion. Our cardiovascular system, our cooling mechanisms, our metabolic flexibility were built for sustained stress. That was at 1G. Emma, this is 2.4. Then I'll adapt. Now, standing at the base of the ridge with 3 Vraxian cubs, secured to her body a combined mass of 288 kilograms under current gravitational conditions, Emma began to climb. Her first handhold sent spikes of pain through her fingers. The basalt rock face, porous and sharp, cut through her reinforced gloves within seconds. Emma's neural interface flooded her consciousness with damage reports, microfractures in her metacarpals, strain indicators flashing red across her musculoskeletal system. Core temperature rising. She climbed anyway, the human body. Emma knew possessed reserves most species never developed. Her ancestors had crossed continents without rest, had hunted megafauna to extinction through sheer relentless pursuit, had survived because when everything said stop, they continued. At 50 meters, her quadriceps began experiencing acute stress fractures. The gravity compensator could only do so much. It redistributed force but couldn't eliminate it. Each movement required calculations: weight distribution, energy conservation, optimal muscle engagement. Her oxygen consumption spiked to dangerous levels. James's voice crackled through her cum unit. Bone density scan shows compromising damage. You need to abort. Can't, Emma gasped. The word cost her precious oxygen. Cubs? Won't survive. The weight. At 100 meters, Emma's vision tunneled. Her body diverted blood flow from non-essential systems, prioritizing her core and the massive effort required by her legs. The cubs had gone silent, their survival instincts understanding that stillness meant safety. The Vraxian expedition team watched from above, their multifaceted eyes fixed on the impossible sight below. Commander Throlix's mandibles had stopped clicking entirely, a sign Emma's database indicated of profound cognitive dissonance. At 150 meters, Emma's left radius fractured completely. The snap echoed in her consciousness through her neural feedback system, but she'd already compensated, shifting weight to her right arm and her legs. Pain was information. Information could be processed? Processing meant continuing. She's not stopping, one of the Vraxian scientists observed, their translator rendering the statement with appropriate awe. Impossible, Throlix whispered. Physiologically impossible? At 200 meters, Emma's body began producing endorphins in quantities that would have been toxic to most species. Her adrenal system, that ancient gift from prey animal ancestors who learned to be predators, flooded her with chemicals that rewrote the definition of possible. Her fingers found the ridge lip at 290 meters. With the last reserves of strength, Emma hauled herself and the three cubs over the edge, rolling onto the stable ground where gravity normalized to 1.2 relief. So profound it felt like floating, the cubs scrambled free, their bioluminescent patterns flashing gratitude recognition patterns. Emma lay on her back, every system in her body screaming damage reports. Her bones cracked, her muscles torn. Her cardiovascular system pushed beyond any recommended limit. James reached her first medical scanner already active. You magnificent, insane human. You've got fractures in 17 bones, third-degree muscle tears, and you should be dead. Emma managed a weak smile. Should be... doesn't mean ... M? Commander Throlix approached slowly, his massive form casting shadow over Emma's broken body. His mandibles clicked once, twice, then opened in what the translator rendered as profound respect. I have observed many species across 40 stellar systems, Throlix said quietly. I have never witnessed such ... endurance, such refusal to accept limitation. His multifaceted eyes fixed on Emma. What you accomplished today violates every physiological model we possess. Emma's neural interface had already begun, cataloging her injuries, projecting healing timelines. 6 weeks for the bones, 4 for the muscles. Acceptable parameters. Humans are persistence predators, she whispered, her voice barely audible. We don't win by being strongest or fastest. She met Throlix's gaze. We win by refusing ... to stop. In the medical bay later, as regeneration pods worked to repair her shattered body, James sat beside her tank. The Vraxian Council had transmitted new protocols. Human endurance capabilities to be reclassified from limited to exceptional, with special notations about stress response systems and adaptive capacity under extreme conditions. Emma floated in the healing solution, consciousness drifting. She'd carried 3 cubs through hell and climbed a mountain under crushing gravity. Her body would heal. The scars would fade, but across the galaxy, in Vraxian databases and xenobiological archives, a new truth was being written. Never underestimate a species that evolved by simply refusing to give up. They had thought she was weak. They would never make that mistake again.